Hello, my name is Ronald Lizotte. I'm up in my 70s. I've fought fire in Alberta since I was 16. I might have even started when I was 15. Probably snuck in there and told them I was 16. Anyway, I've done a lot of fighting fire. Worked with a lot of elderly people. As time went on, the elders just got out of the thing being too old. And I was there right until fighting fire wasn't done right anymore. I was very disappointed. I had a lot of arguments with new rangers that didn't know me. And the last fire I was on, I was so disappointed, I told them I was never going back to fight fire again. And I was getting up in age by then. Because I would tell this ranger, he came in, he had so much knowledge, he used words about a foot long, each one of them. You know, might be exaggerating a bit there, but that's exaggerating like fighting fire now. And, you know, like I said, we got a backburn. That's the only way we're going to get this thing, because we can't handle it this way. We got a backburn. Let's go to a creek or a river and backburn, then we're safe. And they said, okay, yeah, that's a good idea, we'll backburn. So they bought a helicopter in with those ping pong balls. You know, when they hit, they light up. So they're dumping these ping pong balls all along this bush here, right in the middle of the bush. It wasn't even, you know, when you backburn, you gotta go down there with flamethrowers and you light a fire and you keep on going along fighting fire, and when the fire burns that way, the people come back, the firefighters follow that and they put the fire out on this side, and it just goes that way to meet the fire. So that was fine. They bought this helicopter and the ping pong balls, and they I think they left one guy on the ground to watch it. And way it went, they ping pong balled, and way this fire went, and it went both ways because there's nobody to put it out one way. And in a day or so there, it was 30,000 acres bigger because of this such a knowledgeable man that was given orders. He wasn't even embarrassed. I certainly would have been. He tried to make up an excuse of how, you know, why he done it that way. He had no knowledge whatsoever. I don't even believe that person knew what a Plasky was, or any of the firefighting tools. But before that, I had rangers that used to follow me around. They'd come out from the school, they'd come to their station there, and I respected them because they were supposedly being the boss, but some of them were very polite. They would thank you for helping them. As a matter of fact, just a year ago here, I had one ranger come up to me and said, I'll never forget what you taught me. And I appreciated it, and he's a very good firefighter now today. But and then there was other rangers who were let go because they didn't have the knowledge to fight fire. They needed paperwork. And you know, it's so simple and yet so dangerous if you're stupid to the fact. what we always said, like Bill Crothers and myself, the late Bill Crothers was an awesome firefighter, a good radio operator, and we'd always say, make sure and fight your fires from the flank, meaning, you get down around the behind here and try get ahead of it. So you fight fire and stay safe in the black. Well, how simple is that? It's just you put it out, and if it's going that way, so you stay in the black, you're safe. You're very safe. The fire could be a great big thing where nobody would want to be in front of it. I honestly am still disappointed because there's so many people, and I don't want to be prejudiced, but I've worked with so many Indian people, and they're all so knowledgeable. I went to the place in town here where the evacuees were all staying, and I must have seen 100 old-time firefighters. Well, even some were still of age, but they weren't booked, I mean, they didn't have papers to show they were firefighters, and I don't know where these other guys are getting them from. I mean, there is, they do a lot of training in school about trees and willows and plants and all this, which they protect, but if you're not a firefighter, you can't be a firefighter till you learn how to be a firefighter. I think it's time they picked up some older people and they could show them how to fight fire. Like I could still walk and talk, I don't know any big fancy words like a lot of these big guys from the school and the college and that. They come in, they got words as longer than marmalade, some of them, but it's not that we don't understand them. We don't understand all the relative humidities and all this, but a lot of people nowadays would like to make themselves sound good by using bigger words, and most people don't understand them, and this is what we got. We're ending up with fires running away, and they're scared of smoke, and get people around behind like I just went through Slave Lake the other day, and there must have been a fire, it must have been 40 kilometers from Slave Lake. I went down to Toronto and came back, and that fire is still, but the smoke is blowing towards Slave Lake, so they're going to evacuate, and you got to put that thing out. I mean, you got to go in there with men and equipment and, working with bombers. Bombers can't work alone. Yeah, and they will not work alone because they'll just come up again and go. You got to get in there with a lot of men, and you work her from the flank. At the back end of the fire, you start here and you start going around the flank and trying to get ahead of it, and you just keep on going. You get a lot of men. Now, you don't just have a little, that is the biggest mistake too they made they got a crew, which is now, they call it 7 men. You can't do nothing with 7 men. You got to have a 28-man crew like we used to have, all flanking, and you're safe as could be, because we always said, stay in the black to be safe. So you flank, and the black is right here, so you're close to it. So you just keep on going until you'll get a break. If it's a rainstorm, or the bombers will help you get ahead of it. And if you get ahead of it, you're a winner again. and again and again. So there has to be more experience on the line out there. And there's so many people to talk to. What I'm really trying to say, what I just told you was pretty simple. And that's how simple it is. Fight fire from the flank and stay in the black to be safe. And that will never change. You can't be running away from it, because it'll burn the whole country up if you let her go. And you'll always get help with rain if it's too big. It'll cause its own rain. Yeah, there's no reason. And like I've fought fire with people from the States, they do it differently. There's no reason to be up front using those bags. If you're in front and you have to climb in those bags and let the fire go over you, you're in the wrong place. You never go there. Fighter from the flank. And I fought fire from people from Banff National Park. They didn't even put up a tent right, but after we got there, we showed them how, and they were very happy. We had people from over in Manitoba come here. They didn't have knowledge. Like we were told that Alberta was some of the best firefighters, and I still believe in it. And just keep those big people with high words. You can't fight fire with a pencil or a pen or a computer. You gotta fight fire by hand, and you gotta know how. And I could bring up a line of people right now. I bet I could pick up the old Rangers and all that. Boy, would we ever have some knowledge if I lined up something. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, I just was told that the fire jumped to Peace River, and that's a pretty big river. It's right over there, and it's about a half a mile or more. That's pretty easy for a fire to jump that river. And they said, how do you do that? Well, that's just the same as going down there with the crew along the river from the other side and light up your fire by hand and have these crews put it out. Well, they don't even have to put it out, really. Yes, they have to quit burning. Then that could have been back burned, and the fire would have went and met the other fire. You win again. I just finished saying this a few minutes ago on this tape, and that's how you do it. You got to back burn. You got to do it right. You can't be silly and throw all these ping pong balls and the fire is going every which way but loose. And then, no, that's not the way. There's too many mistakes happening. But you got to learn something sometimes.